Moments ago, President Donald Trump made a statement that could change the course of history. The world is watching as tensions between the United States, Israel, and Iran reach a dangerous peak. Trump's words were direct, strategic, unyielding. Military analysts and diplomats alike are asking, what happens next? Will this be a moment of decisive action or a step toward a larger conflict? Tonight, we break down exactly what Trump said, why the U.S. is taking these steps, and what this could mean not just for the Middle East, but for the entire world. Because the clock is ticking, and the next few days could determine whether peace holds, or if the world inches closer to war. The current crisis didn't happen overnight. For months, tensions have been escalating in the Middle East. The United States and Israel have maintained a constant military presence, monitoring Iran's nuclear program and regional influence. Iran, in turn, has been ramping up its own operations, missile tests, military drills, and strategic alliances that signal a growing willingness to challenge U.S. dominance in the region. Each side claims it is acting defensively, but every action creates new tension. Trump now faces the culmination of years of complex diplomacy, intelligence assessments, and on-the-ground developments that have brought the U.S. and Iran to a critical juncture. Global leaders are watching, regional allies are preparing, and the stakes could not be higher. In a statement released earlier today, Trump emphasized that the U.S. has made clear its priorities: protect American interests, safeguard allies, and deter Iran from taking aggressive action. He spoke of a decisive strategy that could bring an end to escalating attacks and promised that U.S. forces are prepared to act if necessary. Trump's tone was firm but calculated, signaling that while the U.S. seeks to avoid large-scale conflict, it is ready to defend itself and its partners at all costs. Analysts note that Trump's words were carefully crafted to reassure allies like Israel while warning Iran against miscalculations that could trigger broader escalation. It's a delicate balance, projecting strength without pushing the situation past the point of no return. Behind the scenes, the United States is pursuing a careful, two-pronged strategy to address the growing tensions with Iran. On one side, American military forces remain on high alert across the region. Precision strikes, naval deployments, and extensive intelligence operations are actively monitoring Iranian activity, ensuring that any potential aggression can be detected and deterred quickly. The goal is to project strength, making it clear that any hostile action against U.S. interests or allies will be met with a swift and decisive response. At the same time, diplomatic channels remain open, forming the other half of this carefully balanced approach. The administration is coordinating closely with Israel and other regional allies, emphasizing communication, intelligence sharing, and strategic planning to avoid misunderstandings that could spiral into conflict. Officials are making it clear to Tehran that while the United States is prepared to respond to threats, there is still room for negotiation and diplomacy. This dual approach, combining visible military readiness with active diplomatic engagement, has been a cornerstone of U.S. policy in the Middle East for decades. Trump's recent statements reinforce this strategy, signaling that the United States intends to protect its forces and interests while discouraging Iran from taking any irreversible steps. By maintaining this balance, the administration aims to preserve stability in a region where tensions have been steadily escalating. Every escalation in the Middle East has worldwide implications, especially when it comes to energy. Iran controls a critical part of global oil exports, including the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point that carries roughly 20% of the world's oil supply. Trump highlighted the importance of securing trade routes, preventing supply disruptions, and ensuring that energy markets remain stable. Any misstep, even a single missile strike, could send oil prices skyrocketing, destabilize markets, and trigger economic ripple effects far beyond the region. The stakes are clear. This isn't just a regional issue. It's a global concern with consequences for every American household, investor, and international partner. Back home in the United States, President Trump's recent statements on the Iran crisis have ignited a wave of reactions from lawmakers, political commentators, and international analysts alike. Supporters of the president have praised his approach, saying it projects strength on the global stage and sends a clear message that the United States will not be intimidated by Tehran. They argue that showing firmness and resolve is critical at a moment when uncertainty and tension are already running high in the Middle East. On the other hand, critics have raised serious concerns that the rhetoric may inadvertently escalate tensions and provoke Iran into taking aggressive measures, potentially putting American interests and allies at risk. The debate has become intensely heated in Washington. Some lawmakers question whether the administration is striking the right balance between diplomacy and military readiness, while others emphasize the importance of preparing for all possible outcomes, including the risks of miscalculation. Experts warn that in a crisis of this magnitude, even small mistakes or misinterpreted signals could trigger far-reaching consequences. Public opinion across the country is also divided. Many Americans express confidence in the president's approach, believing that strength and decisiveness are necessary to maintain national security. Yet a growing number voice concern over the possibility of conflict, emphasizing that careful strategy and diplomatic channels must remain a top priority. In the midst of this uncertainty, one thing is clear: every American is now watching these developments closely. From media coverage to discussions in homes and workplaces, the nation is focused on the decisions being made in real time, aware that the choices made in Washington today could have profound consequences tomorrow. Meanwhile, Tehran has made it clear that it will not remain passive in the face of mounting pressure. Iranian officials have issued firm warnings of their own, emphasizing that any continued actions by the United States or Israel against their interests will be met with calculated countermeasures. Over the past days, missile tests and large-scale military drills have been observed, sending a strong signal that Iran is prepared to defend itself strategically. Statements from high-ranking military commanders further reinforce the seriousness of their intentions, indicating that every move is being carefully considered before action is taken. The region now finds itself in a tense and delicate game of brinkmanship, where every message, maneuver, and public statement carries enormous weight. Analysts warn that in such a high-stakes environment, even a small miscalculation could set off a chain reaction that neither side desires, potentially escalating tensions far beyond what anyone anticipates. With the world watching closely, Tehran's next steps will likely define the trajectory of the U.S. Iran, Israel standoff, and any sign of misinterpretation or overreaction could have consequences that extend well beyond the immediate region. Several possible outcomes are now shaping the future of this crisis, and the stakes could not be higher. One scenario is that Iran's warning, combined with the display of military readiness, serves as a strong deterrent. In this case, Tehran might step back just enough to allow diplomatic channels to take hold, creating a window for negotiations that could prevent further escalation. On the other hand, the situation remains highly fragile, and even a small miscalculation by either side could quickly spiral out of control. Limited strikes, accidental confrontations, or misinterpreted intentions could heighten tensions in the region, putting neighboring countries on edge and risking broader instability across the Middle East. In the worst-case scenario, the conflict could expand into sustained military engagement, drawing in regional allies and shifting the balance of power in ways that affect not only the Middle East, but global politics and economies. In this environment, the next moves by Trump will be decisive. Every statement, decision, and response has the potential to either calm tensions or further inflame them. Governments around the world, regional partners, and the American public are watching closely, understanding that the outcome over the coming days could define the trajectory of U.S. Iran relations for years to come. As of now, the world waits. Trump has made clear that a major decision is coming, one that could change the course of U.S.-Iran relations, influence the Middle East, and reshape global security. Will it be a path toward stability or a step toward confrontation? We will be watching closely, and so should you. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, because in the coming hours, the next chapter of this crisis will unfold, and you'll want to see every detail as it happens.